Hello, my name is Mark Hillis. My wife and I are the pastors of Faith Harvest Church in Gilbert, Arizona. I would like to invite you to sit back and enjoy a brief presentation as we share with you a door that the Lord has opened for us in Cuba. In 1 Corinthians, the Apostle Paul speaks of a door of ministry that had opened to him, a door of ministry which was very effective, and that is what we see happening for us in Cuba as well. For us in the United States, the very name Cuba evokes many different emotions and different thoughts concerning this communist nation. It is a place of colorful taxis, place of communist oppression, place of old Spanish colonial architecture, beautiful beaches, a beautiful country with a vibrant culture. And it is a place where ever-present propaganda keeps alive the vision of Fidel Castro and Che Guevara. But none of these things entice us, nor do they repel us. Our work is non-political in nature, and our hearts are drawn to the Cuban Christians, many of whom meet in house churches throughout the country. Worship is simple, passionate, and doctrine is sound, despite inadequate training materials and discipleship opportunities. I would like to introduce to you Pastor Alian Rojas and his wife Susie. Pastor Alian oversees a 12-church network of house churches under the banner of Rey de Reyes, or King of Kings Church. Pastor Alian lives in Havana, and the house churches are scattered across this island country as much as 800 miles apart. My first trip to Cuba was in June of 2016, and I was accompanied by Aaron and James, pictured here on either side of me, members of our church here in Arizona. On that first trip, Pastor Alian showed us the beginning construction of a building for the church he pastors in Havana. Work progresses as they are able to purchase cement mix bag by bag. Here you can see, less than a year later, when I returned in March of 2017, a little more work has been done. The average income for a Cuban is $25 per month. Even a highly trained doctor in Cuba only earns about $35 per month. Life is especially hard for pastors who give themselves completely to the work of ministry. Some food items are distributed freely by the Cuban government, but other basic necessities are difficult to obtain for many Cubans. When we visit, we carry an extra suitcase filled with bars of soap, razors, toothbrushes, and toothpaste and deodorant. These are distributed to the pastors. In addition, we carry extra money to be left as an offering to be used by the pastors, as well as some for the construction of the church building in Havana. On our first visit, I taught a pastor's conference on leadership and ministry. Many things have happened to confirm to us that we are like-minded in doctrine and vision, and that God has called us alongside these precious servants. On that first visit, we attended house churches in several cities where I preached. Aaron and James gave their testimonies, and we also participated in the children's program. When I returned this year, I went alone. I had no interpreter, forcing me to rely solely upon my Spanish for ministering in the house churches and communicating one-on-one. The Lord this time called me to go and wash the feet of the pastors and other believers there and encourage them in their work. Over the years, these pastors and church members have seen large ministries coming into Cuba, all wanting to be served by the local churches in order to help build their large organizations and their large meetings. These pastors have never seen anyone come simply to serve them. I told them, God has sent me simply to serve you, to wash your feet, to see what we can do to help, and to ask for nothing, but most of all to tell you how precious you are to the Lord. This small church is in the city of Camagüey, 8 hours by bus from Havana. It meets in a tiny addition built onto the pastor's home. The roof is falling in, and when it rains, the congregation gets wet. Yet this was one of the most precious groups of believers that I have ever met. I cherish the time that I spent with them there. They are serious believers, well studied in the Word of God, but hungry for more material and for more teaching. On my first trip, the pastor had attended the conference in Havana, and I had left a copy of a book that I wrote called On the Potter's Wheel, which had been translated into Spanish and had teachings for ministry and leadership and growth as a believer. This congregation had been taught the principles in the book and were so excited and hoped to receive more materials and training in the future. Santeria, a South American form of witchcraft mixed with Catholicism, involves animal sacrifices and is very prominent in Cuba. Less than a block from Pastor Alian's house in Havana is the sacred tree. The followers of Santeria believe that all the gods are manifest in this tree and that it is the tree of wisdom. They perform animal sacrifices, which are frequently found littering the ground at the base of the tree. My observation is that it looks like the tree is dying. Pastor Tito in Camagüey is building his church through sports outreaches to youth and children. I was asked to please bring baseball gloves for the little baseball team. Gloves would never be affordable for them in Cuba. I was able to take 8 gloves, and it was like Christmas. They had not believed the pastor when he told them an American would come and bring them gloves. Sometimes we are able to stay in private houses of rent called casa renta, similar to bed and breakfast in the United States. Here I stayed in Pastor Tito's home. As you look at these accommodations, keep in mind that his wife is a highly trained doctor.
Hello, my name is Tito. I am from Camagüey. I am a pastor here in Camagüey. Camagüey is a province very far from Havana, about 600 kilometers. I want to send my regard to my brother in the Church of the United States for the glove you send for our children. Our children are very happy. It was a precious gift that you sent for them. The pastor have many pictures, and I would like that you look that the children are very happy. I say to you, like Peter and John, when they start their ministry in the temple, outside the temple, they were a paralyzed man. And they say to the paralyzed man, we don't have silver or coin, but what we have, we are going to give. We give to you our love and our prayer. Always we are going to pray for all of you. Maybe someday God bless us and we can help you. Thanks for all you are doing for our church here in Cuba, and thanks for the blessing to be here this pastor. God bless all of you. With my love, thanks.
Here I am preaching at Pastor Alian's church in Havana. I was blessed to have his wife translate for me there. This is a tiny house church in the town of Guasimas. This is a room in a second-floor apartment home, packed with pews and people. Here I am with the pastor, Pastor Fidel, and his wife Elania. And here I am, as I had done many times on this trip, washing Pastor Fidel's feet. Cuba is one of the most literate countries in the world. Though the people are poor, they read the Word of God and they study. They have free educational opportunities, but then they are restricted as to how that education may be used. They read and understand Christian literature, but the only way they can receive it is if someone comes from outside bringing it in a suitcase. Since the laws concerning religion have been relaxed, Cuba is flooded by every kind of cult and false doctrine available, and much of it comes from the church in America. The Apostle Paul said, "A great and effective door for ministry has opened, and the adversaries are many." These are some of the adversaries we face. These precious people of God need all of the training and warning they can receive, that they be not caught up in false doctrines and fads that are sweeping through the Christian churches in America and elsewhere. I am certain that God has opened this door, and I am so excited about what He is doing. In closing, here is another video message. This is a greeting from Pastor Alian and his wife Susie translating to our church in Arizona.
Hello. Es una gran bendición poderles
Big
saludar
blessing to greet you
y enviarles nuestro cariño.
and send you our love.
Somos Alien y
We're
Susel
Pastor Alien and Susan.
y les saludamos en nombre del ministerio y de cada iglesia y pastor.
And we greet you in name of our ministry and in name of every church we have.
Sepan que oramos por ustedes
Know we pray for you
y que estamos muy agradecidos
and we are very, very grateful
de haber conocido al pastor Mark.
of getting to know Pastor Mark.
Creo que el Señor nos ha unido
I
en el
think
espíritu.
the Lord has joined us in the spirit,
Y sepan que ustedes están siendo de bendición
and know you are being a big blessing
para nuestras iglesias y pastores.
for our churches and pastors.
Les queremos mucho.
We love you.
God bless you.
God bless you. And for Pastor Maggie, I want
Yes.
to meet you in person because your husband speaks so great things from you, and I know you're a great woman of God.
Le esperamos en Cuba.
We are waiting for you in Cuba, and to the whole congregation, God bless you. You are great blessing to us, and you're precious. Never doubt of it. You are precious for the Lord and for us too.
Bye.
We will be praying for you. Bye.
Bye.
These are some of the items that are needed most. Will you pray that God will supply in abundance both these items and cash which will help support the pastors in order that this work might expand and grow? Thank you for watching and listening. If you need more information or would like to contact us, please contact us through our website at www.faithharvestchurch.net.